In 2015, LeBron James said no to a guaranteed $15 million check from McDonald's, and not because he didn't need the money. The offer was very real. He walked because he had finally figured out what most athletes and creators never do, and that is that a flat fee is almost always the worst deal in the room. That one decision is now a crucial piece of a portfolio worth well over $1 billion. The interesting part isn't whether it was risky or not. It's what he saw in the structure that everyone else missed. Let's get into it. Phase 1, the labor trap. Why $581 million in salary isn't the story. LeBron James earned more than $580 million in NBA salary, highest in league history. And that figure is still less than 40% of his total career earnings. The other 60% came from a completely different game. The NBA runs on a collective bargaining agreement that hard caps how much players can make, no matter how much value that they create. MVP or bench warmer, you're still just highly paid skilled labor. Teams and leagues own the franchises, the media rights, and the equity. Players only get the paychecks. So if you're LeBron and you want billionaire outcomes, the math is simple. You cannot get there on salary alone. Most athletes respond to that cap the same way. They grab as many endorsement fees as possible. Coca-Cola, Nike, whoever calls first. They pose for photos, shoot a commercial, a cash wire hits, and done. The structure is clean, but it also contains a hard cap because the brand keeps every dollar you generate for them, while you get a one-time payout and zero participation on anything that happens thereafter. LeBron started exactly there. Nike gave him $90 million over 7 years as a rookie. Upper Deck, Coca-Cola, standard fee for image deals where he was the product and they owned the system. But there's a tell buried in those early years. At 18, before playing an NBA minute, Reebok offered him $115 million guaranteed. Nike offered him $90. Most teenagers take the extra $25 million and call it a day. LeBron didn't. He chose the smaller Nike bag because he believed Nike's long-term trajectory would compound more than Reebok's quick upfront cash. The goal wasn't biggest fee, it was best engine for compounding. Phase 2, Beats by Dre, the first real equity swap. By 2008, LeBron is the most visible athlete on the planet. MVP, finals trips, every camera pointed at him. That's exactly when Dr. Dre and Jimmy Iovine show up with a new headphone brand that had a good product, but no cultural gravity just yet. The standard play would have been simple. Pay LeBron a few $1 million a year to wear the headphones, shoot some ads, and call it an endorsement. Instead, LeBron and Maverick Carter flipped the structure. They took a small equity stake in Beats in exchange for promotion. No big check up front, just ownership. Plus, a commitment to be seen in those headphones everywhere that matters. Courtside, walk-ins, interviews, and All-Star Weekend. The big payoff came in 2014. Apple acquires Beats for $3 billion. Reports put LeBron's stake at north of $30 million. Run the comparison. A traditional endorsement probably would have paid him $3 to $5 million a year for a handful of years, maybe $20 to $25 million total before taxes if you're generous. Equity participation on the Apple exit cleared that and then some. More importantly, it rewired his brain. A flat fee lets the brand value your influence once and keep all the upside. Equity means that every time you promote something, you're pushing up the value of an asset that you already own. Once you've seen that math work in real life, it's very hard to go back to promoting for straight cash and no equity. Which brings us to the McDonald's offer that most people still think he was insane to decline. If you're still here, you're not just a LeBron fan. You're trying to figure out how to turn your own work into a portfolio instead of a pile of paychecks. That's exactly what this channel was built for. We break down creator and founder-led empires as financial systems, how the deals are structured, where the actual multiples come from, and what you can copy in your own lane. If you want more of that, Ryan Reynolds, Taylor Swift, Kutcher, Mr. Beast, hit subscribe so you don't miss the next breakdown. Phase 3, McDonald's versus Blaze, swapping guaranteed cash for a three-way bet. In 2012, long before McDonald's came knocking, LeBron wrote a check for $1 million into a tiny fast casual pizza concept in Southern California, Blaze Pizza. The pitch, Chipotle, but for pizza. Make your own pies, assembly line, in and out in a few minutes. On paper, an early stage restaurant chain with nothing close to a national scale. The way he structured the relationship is what matters. Equity in the parent company to participate in the enterprise value as Blaze grew, franchise ownership to collect operating cash flow, and a paid brand ambassador role that compensated him to push the brand, which fed both the equity and the franchise revenue. When the brand grows, equity goes up, store profits go up, and the endorsement fee is effectively paying LeBron to make his own assets more valuable. Now drop McDonald's into that picture. In 2015, they reportedly offer LeBron $15 million guaranteed to be the face of the brand. No meaningful risk, massive reach, and a large pile of cash. Most people around him thought saying no was reckless. You don't usually get that offer twice. LeBron's backup option was an equity stake in a still unproven pizza chain with a couple dozen stores, franchise exposure that could be worth a lot or nothing, and a brand he'd hitched his name to with no guarantee. He declined anyway and went all in on Blaze as his only fast casual partner. By 2017, private equity comes in. Brentwood Associates values Blaze at around $250 million. Reports had LeBron's equity stake at around 10%, implying roughly $25 million in paper value right there, before counting any franchise profits, before counting any ambassador fees. ESPN pegged his total Blaze take-in the $35 to $40 million range by that point, already beating the McDonald's guarantee. And here's the honest part. Blaze didn't become the next Chipotle. Category got crowded and growth slowed over time. Forbes now pegs LeBron's stake closer to $30 million, so this wasn't a 100x home run. Equity doesn't automatically beat cash every single time, but it gives you a shot at multiples cash could never give you when the business actually performs. The real win wasn't that Blaze became massive, it's that the deal forced LeBron to live like an owner, with 3 income streams all compounding in the same direction instead of as a rented face. Phase 4, Liverpool to Fenway Sports Group, turning image rights into a $142 million ownership stake. Back in 2011, before Blaze, Fenway Sports Group, FSG, had a problem. They'd bought Liverpool FC, one of the most storied clubs in England, but the global brand had gotten dusty. Performance was flat, reach lagged behind rivals. FSG didn't need a new striker. They needed attention from people who didn't even watch soccer. Enter LeBron. The deal was simple and it was smart. FSG got rights to market LeBron. LeBron got 2% of Liverpool FC. Valuation at the time was about $325 million, so his cut on day one was worth $6.5 million, paid in equity, not cash. LeBron didn't just write a check. He traded brand power for direct ownership. Same logic as Beats, but now the asset was a 100-plus-year-old football club. Fast forward a decade, Liverpool wins the Premier League, wins the Champions League, global sports valuations go vertical. By 2021, the club alone is worth $4.1 billion, and that 2% implies around $82 million on paper. Then he upgrades the position. He swaps the Liverpool stake for 1% of Fenway Sports Group. Instead of 2% of one team, he now owns 1% of the entire sports empire. Boston Red Sox, Pittsburgh Penguins, Liverpool, and more. In 2025, CNBC values FSG at $14.2 billion. 1% of that works out to about $142 million. The currency was attention. That's the cleanest expression of his model. Take something most athletes give away for a flat fee and then trade it for a piece of an appreciating institution. When that FSG deal closed, LeBron and Maverick Carter became the first black partners in the group's history. That's historic, and it's also practical. It puts him in ownership rooms with people who buy and sell franchises. It makes it easier for FSG to back Spring Hill, his media company, which makes the next equity deal easier to write because he'd already had a proven track record. The pizza chain proved the micro version. FSG is the macro version. Equity for promotion at a $14 billion scale. Phase 5, how the whole LeBron money system actually loops. Put LeBron in the middle and draw 4 rings. The first ring is the on-court engine. 23 NBA seasons, $581.3 million in salary. This is the raw attention generated. The second ring is the brand and endorsement layer. The Nike lifetime deal, widely reported in the 10-figure ballpark over time. Pepsi, AT&T, Walmart, DraftKings, Crypto.com, and more across the years. This is the cash flow that funds conviction and buys time. The third ring is the equity and ownership layer. The Beats by Dre payout at around $30 million. Blaze Pizza at a roughly $30 million stake plus franchise cash. Spring Hill valued at $725 million, with his stake estimated around $300 million, and 1% of FSG at roughly $142 million on current numbers. The fourth ring is the media and philanthropy layer. Spring Hill content including The Shop, docs, and series, the I Promise School, and the Foundation in Akron, arguably his greatest achievement. This is the credibility infrastructure that keeps the brand trusted and relevant. Being a once-in-a-generation player gives him the leverage to command the biggest deals from Nike and and other companies. Those deals and that visibility make brands and owners willing to trade equity for promotion. Those equity wins, Beats, FSG, Spring Hill, Blaze, create real wealth and institutional relationships. Then invest back into his media company, which tells stories that extend his relevance beyond basketball. That relevance keeps the on-court brand hot, and even as he ages, which keeps the endorsement and equity wheel spinning. What you can actually steal from this now. Rule 1. Endorsement fees are the floor, not the end goal. Anytime your presence clearly moves revenue, the flat fee is the minimum. Always ask what it would look like to get a small slice of upside instead. Even 1 or 2% is enough to matter later. Rule 2. Stack rolls so every action pays you twice. Blaze wasn't just a I own stock, it was equity, franchise, and ambassadorship all at once. Design your deals so one move improves multiple positions on your own balance sheet. Rule 3. Say no to great money that breaks your system. McDonald's was great money that would have turned LeBron back into paid labor for someone else's brand. The hard no kept his attention pointed at assets he actually owned. Sometimes the hardest no is the only way to keep your upside intact. Equity doesn't guarantee an automatic win, but it gives you the only outcome a flat check can't: a shot at asymmetric upside if the thing actually works out. LeBron James will go down as one of the best to ever touch a basketball. However, the bigger story is that he used that talent to escape the labor trap almost every athlete stays stuck in. He stopped selling hours and started buying ownership, and he ran that play enough times so that his net worth now sits well over $1 billion, with most of it coming outside his NBA paychecks, and will not stop when he stops playing basketball. If you want more breakdowns like this on how athletes and founders build systems that outlast the thing that made them famous, hit subscribe. But when you're done here, go watch our Ryan Reynolds breakdown next, where we cover how a mid-tier movie star used jokes and equity to quietly build a 9-figure empire. I'm Buster, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.